Anyway, I thought I'd do an introduction to this new stereo. This is the second one I've got. I wanted one for downstairs, one for upstairs. This one's slightly different to the other one. This is called the Majority Okeington. And this one's very nice. It's got a silk black finish, like a gloss black finish. It's got like an overlay over the wood. I didn't realise that. I thought it was matte, and I'm not sure what to think about because this black gloss tends to scratch easily and show every mark. So I'm not sure what it's going to be like. It's got a nice brushed aluminium front. I don't think it's as good as the Willingham. The knobs are very difficult to see because they're not blackened or anything, so I can't read those, so it's indistinguishable for me with poor vision. But it's got a nice big remote control, and actually I use that. I don't use the buttons anyway. On the top it's got a jog wheel and a navigator. I think this is supposed to be like a copy of the Ruark, but it won't be a patch on the sound. This one I had a hell of a job to get the Bluetooth going. I had to fiddle around it for about half an hour. I had a partial refund, and they were very kind to do that, the seller I got it from. But my personal view is that the Willingham and the other one, the Sydney, has a lot better sound. This one's it's a little bit thinner on the bass. So it's, but there again, it's not, I wouldn't use it in a living room. I don't think it's got quite enough body, even though I think it's acceptable for a bedroom or a kitchen. But for a main thing in the living room or something, I think it's a little bit on the thin side. Even though it does have bass on pop music, you can't sort of overrun the bass like you can on the other one. The other one you can overrun it and it sounds quite distorted. This one, the maximum isn't that bassy, and being a bit deaf, I need a lot more sound than this gives in the living room. But because the bedroom is smaller, I don't need a lot of sound, because my neighbour would be knocking the wall in his bedroom, which is the other side of the radio, if I have it too loud anyway. So I decided to I was going to return it and exchange it, but I decided rather than do that, I would use it in the bedroom. If I couldn't get on with it over the next week or two, I would box it up and give it to my sister, because it's still better than a majority of their bits they've got in their house that they buy from Lidl's and places like that, which don't really have any sound at all. So I mean, this would be a certain upgrade to what they've got. This was £90. It was more expensive than the Willingham, but personally I think now Willingham is better. I don't know why. It's got Willingham's a lot bigger case. The length is the same, but the depth is shorter. And also the bass ports at the back are a lot, the holes are a lot less. So that's probably why it's a bit thinner on bass, even though I think the speakers are probably the same. There doesn't appear to be any wind coming out the back when you turn the bass up. Now with the other one, you put your hand to the back and you can feel it. With this one you can't. It might be okay on pop music turned up loud, but I don't like pop music. I don't listen to it. It's just a lot of people shouting and swearing, and I don't want that. So this one comes with a nice big remote control. I'll prop it up so you can see it. The other one on the Willingham is very small. It's quite hard for me to use. This one's a lot easier. I really hope that I might be able to use this remote on the other one, but it may not work. But I could certainly try and see if it works on the other one. And then I could order another one of those. The other one is only tiny, about that big, and it's too small for me to see. But I'm getting on with that at the moment. So that's a little introduction to it. What we're going to do, it's not like the Willingham with an LCD, a sort of colour display. This is I call it a dot matrix LED display or something. And this is a totally different display. So it's not quite as clear. But my personal view, is this a radio worth buying? I'll turn it up a little bit. Is this a radio worth buying? My argument is yes, but it's really a bedroom radio. It's a bit big for a kitchen. It would do for a bedroom adequately, and perhaps like an office or something, if you had an office in the home. But if you wanted it for a large space, I don't think it's got quite enough oomph, even though it does have a very nice sound. If you turn it up to about 6 or 7, it's got a very respectable sound. But I don't think it's a patch on the Willingham and the Sydney. I'm not sure about the Kings. I haven't got one of those. In fact, I fancy actually getting one of those just to try it out. If I don't like it, I can just put it back on eBay and get my money back, so it'd be new. Just buy it if I don't get on with it. I just put it straight back in the box and save £10 off. I really do like trying different things out. And I have managed to get my tablet working off at another job because it wouldn't recognise it. So it took me how many attempts to get it, and I don't even know whether it will do it again. So the Bluetooth's a bit flaky. But you might get it working okay. I think you've got to have several attempts. Perhaps I was doing something wrong, I don't know. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this short video on Majority at Okeington. Now, Majority is a firm based in Cambridge. It looks like the Willingham and the other set is their own design. This one looks like there are other companies making this work, getting this one made. Anyway, that's what you get. It looks very nice. It's got a CD player. You post it through that little letterbox, and it's really quite cheerful, really. £90. I do think the Willingham and the Sydney are a better buy because they got a bigger display. But if you like something that looks like the Ruark type radio, this one looks very similar, but obviously fraction of the price and probably not the same inside. Anyway, goodbye everyone.